Welcome to the PFC podcast. I'm your host, Coach Mike Payton. I'm a certified personal trainer, and I'll be giving you tips and tricks on how to improve your overall fitness and help you make progress in the gym. Let's get right into the show. Being crunchy is shortening your life. Now, before you stop listening to this, because, yep, I said that, let me get a little more nuanced. Number one, I don't think that crunchy is being bad is bad by any means. But I'll get into why I say it's shortening your life here in a second. But for those of you who don't know what being crunchy is, it's basically a holistic, natural outlook on health. You might eat a certain way, you might avoid certain foods, you might avoid certain nutrients because of detrimental effects that it has on your health. So just by that definition, I don't think it's a bad thing. But I have some critiques of how it's approached a lot of the time, just as I do with a lot of other health and fitness content online as well. So that's what being crunchy is. Now, the reason why I say that it's shortening your life is accumulative stress. So stress can be a big factor in a lot of different things. And we know that like being stressed for a long period of time is not good for your health. Being stressed for a long time can increase inflammation. It can, which as a result of that can cause a host of different problems in your body. And that's my main point is being crunchy is stressing you out. And here's why. A lot of times whenever I see this with other health and fitness things too, is because I can't do all of it right now, I'm not doing enough, and therefore I'm not healthy. And that causes stress. I don't care who you are. I've felt this in my own fitness. Like, I'm like, man, I'm not training optimally. I'm not working out the right way. And therefore I'm not actually healthy. I'm not actually lifting well. I'm not going to make any progress. But that's not true. If in those circumstances, I have to pull myself back and say, well, you're working out. That's better than not working out, you know? And here's an analogy I like to use is imagine if you were like single, okay? You're a single person and you're stressing and you aspire to be married. But right now you're thinking about, this is how I want my marriage to look. This is how I want this to be. I want my marriage to be this way. And I want my kids to be raised this way. And you're stressing out about it. You're thinking about it every single day. That's not going to help you get a date and get married, because the first step in that is to date somebody. You have to date somebody in order to end up marrying them. So if you're stressing out about this future thing, this broad thing that's not even happening yet, or not even close to happening yet, you're stressing out about the wrong thing, which can cause a lot of anxiety and long-term stress. But if you take the first step and you say, okay, well, if I want to get married, I have to date somebody first. Okay. I got to go and hang out with a lot of people, in big groups. That way I can meet somebody. Okay, great. Do that. You should be stressing out about what groups should I be hanging out with and what people do I want to be around, more than you should be thinking about how your marriage will look once you're there. That's not going to help you. But once you're dating somebody and you're engaged with somebody, then you can focus on that, because that makes sense. You should be stressing about that because that's happening to you. and it's a solvable problem right now. And the same thing can happen in health and fitness. Um, you think about all these like healthy choices. What optimal exercises should I be doing to help me lose body fat and gain muscle? And I should be doing this specific kind of exercise program, and I should have this perfect form. And really, none of that's important if you can't just step foot in the gym. None of that's important. None of it. If you can't go to the gym, if you didn't step foot in the gym first, none of that is important. None of it. The same thing applies to this holistic or being crunchy kind of lifestyle. If you're so focused on what heavy metals to avoid, what seed oils to avoid, what specific micronutrient is in this pasta, and I got to avoid it, you're taking too many big steps if you're somebody who can't even cook themselves a dinner. Okay. Now, if you're somebody who's been living a really good lifestyle, maybe that is for you right now. That's great. Maybe you've been eating well for a long time. But my point stands, though, even for that person, even for you, if you are that person, because maybe there's one day that you can't achieve that. The stress of not being able to achieve that is far worse for you than the alternative, just cooking the meal and eating it. I see this a lot with clients that I have, is especially some clients that I have that maybe only work out with me one day a week, but the rest of the week they work out on their own. These tend to be more advanced lifters or busy people. And whenever they don't get a lift in that week, prior to them seeing me, they're really hard on themselves. They stress out about it. And here's what I tell them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Working out is great. It's so good for you. And I want you to do it, and I want you to be good at it. But if you feel like you're failing because you didn't work out one extra day this week before you came into the gym to see me, that's okay. You still came to see me. You're still working out one day a week. That's one more day than you would have if you hadn't come in to see me. So focusing on the wins rather than focusing on the failures is going to be way more beneficial for you and reduce your stress way more than if you just are hard on yourself because you didn't avoid that one nutrient that has this tiny effect on your health in the long term. Now, accumulatively, yeah, it might be really bad for you, but maybe there's one day that you can't cook that thing, like a better meal, and this is what you've got. Okay, eat it. Good. Like you're gonna be okay. But I think a lot of people get perfectionistic when it comes to this, that they have to be perfect. They have to hold themselves to this lifestyle. And if they don't do it 100%, then they're going to fail, and they're going to be, they're just really hard on themselves with it. And that's not helpful. That's really not helpful. Stress will kill you way faster than eating a seed oil every once in a while will. I can guarantee that. Now, kind of going back to my previous analogy of like step by step, stress about the thing that is happening now rather than what could be happening or isn't realistic right now. If you're somebody who's eating out multiple times a week and doesn't really cook themselves a meal, don't focus on being crunchy. Start with going to the store, buying yourself a pack of chicken, buying yourself some frozen broccoli, and cooking that. And that is a win. That is a win. Okay? I don't care if somebody's like, well, it's not optimal because you got frozen broccoli instead of fresh broccoli that has less vitamins in it. It's like, okay, that's true, but like, and they weren't doing that before. That's good. Let's cheer them on. Let's be positive about this. Um, and if you're somebody who's been doing that consistently, okay, did you make that food taste good? If you can answer that question, yes, and you enjoy what you're eating, then take the next step. Take the next step to, okay, I'm eating these whole natural foods. Yeah, they're not organic and they might be some frozen veggies and whatnot. Okay, now let's take a little bit of a switch and say, let's eat fresh veggies. Let's eat grass fed meat. Let's eat wild caught fish, and that's the next step. Okay, let's stress about that. Okay, that's good. That's a good stress because now it's realistic to stress about that. It's like you've gone from being single to dating somebody to now being engaged. Okay, and then that last step of like now you can stress about marriage. You can stress out about what micronutrients are in things that you want to avoid, whether it's food dye or seed oils or heavy metals and that kind of thing. That's the last step. That's the last step. It's not the first step. And I think if I were to summarize this whole thing, I think a lot of people get caught up in the last step and they try to make that the first step. They try to say, let's avoid all of these things that are in our food. And they say, let's make that the first step, where that's not realistic for most people. So if you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to eat better, don't start with that. Don't start with that. It's not going to work. You're going to get stressed about it. You're going to get stressed about failing, and then it's not going to work for you. I can almost guarantee it. I am 90% sure of this. And if I were to give you any key takeaways here, I'd say do what you can, not what you can't. Don't do what you can't do because it's not going to work. It's a process, okay? Don't get caught up in what heavy metals are in your food if you can't simply make yourself dinner. You got to be able to start with step 1, go to step 2, then to step 3, then to step 4. That's all for this episode. And if you have any comments, problems with this video, this podcast episode, then please let me know. Leave a comment down below. Or you can send me an email. If you like my content and you want to follow me for more, you can follow me on any of my social media platforms, which you can find in the link below. That is my LinkedIn. I've recently added onto my LinkedIn Linktree. You can go to my Linktree, and on there you can find 2 exercise programs that I've designed to help you go step by step through a strength program to gain strength and achieve your dream body. And then I also have a Fit in 15 is what the program is called. If you are a really busy person and you can spare 15 minutes a day to work out, then that's the program for you. And if you want a discount for 50% off right now, PFC50 will get you 50% off of those programs. And that will only be happening for this week. So if you want to purchase those programs, by all means, they will be on there.